We're now on Dcad lesson 13F, and we're continuing to deal with drawings, organization, and sheet notes. And one of the things that I noticed during our last lesson was that on the wall bracing plan I didn't include any section indicators. And it's a good thing to have on all the plan view drawings just because it just makes it clear to everybody where the sections are located. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swipe some section arrows. I'm going to zoom up on the floor plan here, and I'm just going to click out of point selection mode and grab this top one. Actually, let me undo that. And instead, hit escape. I'm going to stay in point selection mode because I think I can grab it. Grab both of them. Yeah, sure enough, right there. Okay, so both the section arrows are selected. I'm going to open up my info box because they're in the wrong layer. They're in layer 2. And that's okay for now because I'm going to move them in a minute. I'm going to put a handle at this upper right corner of the floor plan, and just you can see my indicator there, my cursor. I'm going to right click to the upper right corner and hit my scroll button to initiate the command and set the handle. I'm just going to scoot down here, and I'm going to zoom up a little closer here because there's other lines terminating near the corner that I don't want to click to. And I'm going to hit N for duplicate, and I'm going to right click to this corner right here. And so what that's done, I'm going to hold down Control and use my scroll button to zoom out a little bit. And so what that's done is that's placed identical section arrows on the wall bracing plan. Now I'm going to click on this text here, and the wall bracing plan is in layer 42, so that's the layer that I'm going to change these section arrows to. So I'm going to hit escape and do the same thing I did up there on the floor plan. I'm just going to select those section arrows and change them, scroll on down to layer 42 and plan them, oops, a little too far. Stick them in 42 and click somewhere in the drawing to unselect them. Now I'm going to select this upper one because it's up there kind of high. It doesn't need to be that high. Go to my selection handle, gravity move using the comma, hit M for move, and use the arrow key to arrow it down a little bit closer to the drawing. And hit enter, hit escape, and there we are. So now we have section arrows on our wall bracing plan like we do on the other plans also. It's nice that we can go back and fix our mistakes in Dcad. I make a lot of them, so it's a pretty handy feature in a CAD drawing program. So one of the things that we need to do is to import information from our section drawing into the sheet notes, and we haven't done that yet. And so one of the things I'm going to do, I hit Control R to regenerate the screen to get rid of this stuff that Dcad tends to leave laying around all over the place. So I'm going to click down here on my Google Sheets, and we've already got the roof framing notes up there. So now we're on the section AA notes. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these and install these into our sheet in Dcad. And one of the things that I need to do is, I'm not sure why I left this install events at every second truss black. This would indicate at some point in time that I actually went through these, and I think I did it in an in-office lesson at one point. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and select all these red lines and just turn them black because they haven't been entered into this drawing yet. Go up here and turn them black. So, and then I'll turn them red as I install them into the actual A2 sheet. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at these sheet notes, and I can see that, my first sheet note for the section drawing is 3 lines long. Then I have a double, then a single, then a double, and so on and so forth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my drawing here real quick, and since I have one that's 3 lines long, I know that what I need to do is I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. Ooh, that's quite a bit. Let me zoom up a little closer here. Hit the Z for zoom. Okay, well, not too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all these sheet notes except for the top 2 lines, and I know my next one is going to have 3 lines in it, so I'm going to hit M. First, I'm going to gravity move to the section handle and hit M for move, M, and hold down Shift. And so I'm going to my minor cursor movement of 0.175, and I'm going to hit it 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and then hit Enter. And that's because, once again, to create a whole line of text, we need 3.175 movements. So now I'm going back to my sheet notes for the section drawing. I'm going to go ahead and select these 3 lines for the first one, and hit Control C to copy it to the clipboard. And once again, you can see the dashed line around there indicated that it's been selected and copied. And so now I'm going back into Dcad, and I'm going to my my text line, holding that down and going to the text text block and letting go of that one. And you can see again the angle is at 0, and we want that angle at 90. And the line spacing is already at 0.5, which is correct, and the text size is at 0.35. So now I'm going to go up here and just left click into it, and actually right click and paste. And so there's what there are the 3 lines that I just copied out of my sheet notes. And now I'm going to go over to here and oh, you know what? What I see, let me hit escape real quick. What I see is that I'm in layer 75, and really what I want to do is I want to put this stuff in layer 76. So let me do that. We'll go through that one more time. We're now layer 76 will be our active layer. Click on this guy, and now that's activated. And all I have to do is right click to the top of it here and hit my scroll button, zoom up to it, and select the 2, and you can see over here that they're red, the 2 text lines, and hit and delete those. And then Control M will zoom me back out again. And now I'm going to click back to my sheet notes in Google Sheets, and this next one's a 2-liner. Sounds like a comedy. Anyway, so I'm going to select, and these guys are still selected, so I'm going to go ahead and turn them red. And that ought to do it right there. Okay, meaning that we've already installed them. Okay, so I'm going to select these next 2 lines, hit Control C, and now I'm going to go back into Dcad, and I'm going to just hit my text block there and hit Control V, and that puts those 2 lines into there. And I'm going to go over here and just right click at the top left corner of the text, and I'm zooming up now. Select the 2 short text lines there, and hit delete, and they're goner. Control M to zoom back out again. Now let me see what my next text block is. It's a 1-liner. Okay, so while I'm here, I'm still going to go back and turn those to red since we've already installed them. And this one here, I'm just going to hit Control C. And what I'm going to do here is, before I get too carried away, is go into Dcad, and I'm going to move all this text up 3 short spaces, 3 short cursor spaces, because I'm actually losing a line. That's set up for 2 lines, and I'm only going to need 1. So I'm going to my handle here, hitting the comma key for gravity move, M, hold down Shift, and arrow up 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and hit Enter. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom up in this area right here and get my text box a little bit out of the way, and I'm going to delete this lower one. Just select it, hit delete, and now this one, what I'm going to do is I've just selected it, and here it is in the info box. It says text. I'm going to select that text in the info box and hit Control V. And if I hit Enter, it automatically changes it there. The only problem is the text is the wrong color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click over here on my colors and hit Color Apply to Selection. And I can see over here on the left-hand side that black is the current color. So I'm going to hit A, and you can see it turned to black in info box. So I can now just click anywhere and Control M to zoom back out again. So little by little, we're moving down, and we're getting those sheet notes for the section drawing placed in the drawing itself. So now I'm going back to Google Sheets, and I'm going to change the color of that one to red because we've already got it installed. Ah, we're lucky. Next time we have just a two-liner. So I'm selecting those and Control C to copy it to the clipboard. Going back to Dcad, going to my text block, Control V, because these are already highlighted. That means anything I type in there or stick in there is going to replace that highlighted text. So Control V, and here's our new text, and all I need to do is to right-click to the very top left corner of that text line. Once again, I'll zoom up to that area, select those two red ones, and again, you can tell I got them only because in the info box it's just showing red. And I hit delete, and they're gone. So I can hit Control M. And now I'm going to go back to my Google Sheets and turn those guys red because they've been installed. So now I got a couple of one-liners. So that means we're going to move the text up 3 short cursor steps in each of those. So what I'm going to do before I mess with these is I'm going to go back into Dcad because it's just easier this way. I'm going to, oops, let me scoot that back over there, hit the scroll button. I'm going to select both of those, first this one, everything but the top 2 lines, top 2 red lines, go to my handle and gravity move, hitting the comma, hit M, hold down Shift, and 3 short cursor steps with using the arrow up. 1, 2, 3, and hit Enter. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the one below. And this will, so you can see I'm leaving 2 text untouched. And I'm going to go down there to handle again, and I'm going to hit the comma key for gravity move, hit M, hold down Shift, and 1, 2, 3 steps up, and hit Enter. Hit Escape. So now I can go up, zoom up into this area, and click this bottom text and delete it, and click this bottom text and delete it, because these are only going to be single text lines. So now I'm going back to my Google Sheets, and first I'm just going to select this guy, the R49 ceiling installation, Control C, go back to Dcad, and just to show you something different, instead of selecting this and using the info box, we're going to just use the text command. And so I'm just going to hit T. And that's already selected in here, and I'm going to hit Control V, and we're going to do it this way this time. And I'm going to right-click now. Notice that the handle for it is at the bottom left for text, as opposed to the top left and for text blocks. So just try to keep that straightened out. You'll see where the handle is if you zoom up close enough. So I'm just going to right-click to the bottom left of the text there, and then hit my scroll button, and it's there. Now I can select that and delete it. Go back to my sheet notes, turn that guy red. Go down to my next one. I think I'll do that same thing again. Control C. And so maybe another step or two, but it's nice to know other ways of doing things in Dcad, because sometimes one is handier than another. So I'm going to hit T again for text, and I'm going to hit Control V, paste it in there, and right-click there. And notice that you can, as you slide your cursor out here, you can rotate text around if you want, but we want this to stay at 90 degrees because it looks more civilized, okay? So I'm going to hit my scroll button, and it pops it in place at 90 degrees. I'm going to just right-click to the red there, and you can see I've selected it, and it says text, and hit delete. So we've done those next 2 one-liners, so to speak. Control M to zoom back out again, and I'm going back into my sheet notes in Google Sheets, and I'm going to turn that guy red. So next we have a multi-liner. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. Whoa! So we already have 2 in place in our Dcad drawing, so we're going to need 3 more. And so since we're getting for each line 3 small cursor steps, it'll be 9 total. 3 lines of 3 steps each. Okay? So I'm just going to select all these guys and hit Control C. And now I'm going to go over to Dcad, and so I need to step the rest of this whole mess down. Let me select it all. 9 small cursor steps. So I'm going to go over here, get close to my handle, gravity move with a comma, hit M, hold down Shift. I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and hitting Enter. Okay, that's a pretty good gap there, huh? Okay, so now I'm going, since I already have that in my clipboard, I already hit Control C, I'm going to go ahead and go to text block up here. And so I'm going to click on that and hit Control V, and you can see that it planted that all in there. And now I'm going to go over to here and right click at the left top this time, because it's a text block, not just text. And it's just like text, you can move it around here, but we're going to keep it civilized. I'll just hit the scroll button and it pops it into place at 90 degrees. I'm selecting these 2 red texts, and you can see over here that they're selected. I'm hitting delete, so they're gone. I'm going to save right now, so just in case something goes wrong. And go back into Google Sheets, and I'm going to turn those guys red. We're getting there. So I got a couple more one-liners. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into Dcad and move those one-liners up. So selecting that group and gravity move using the comma, M, hold down Shift, and arrow up 3 times. 1, 2, 3, hit Enter, hit Escape, and now I'm doing everything below. Gravity move to the handle using the comma, M for move, hold down Shift, and 3 small cursor steps up, and then hit Enter. Okay, so now I'm going to select and remove that lower text, delete, and select and remove that lower text and delete. And now I'm just going to zoom up on that so we can see how that's looking. You can see that these are actually closer together. So now I'm going to go back to my Google Sheets and select this wall insulation note and hit Control C. Go back into Dcad, and this time I'm just going to change the text, and hit Control V, and click on Apply Color to Selection, and there it is. And I'm going back into Google Sheets, and I'm changing the color of that one to red. Go down to my next one, about the chipboard. Control C to copy it to the clipboard. Going back into Dcad and clicking this text, selecting it in the text box dialog. Control V. And since that's in there, any changes that I make will apply that. So I can just hit the Apply Color to Selection here, and it'll change the text also. Look at that. So it sort of did 2 things at once. It changed the color to the black, and since we had that new text already in the text box, it installed it into the drawing. So let's hit Control M and zoom back out. And now I'm going to go back into Google Sheets and turn that line red. So now we have a 3-liner, and so what that means is, and I can go ahead and put those in the clipboard right now. I'm just going to select all 3 of them. Control C, and go back into Dcad, and I got to move all these guys below that down 3 small cursor steps, because we're picking up 1 additional one. So I'm selecting that guy. Let me hit Escape. So you realize that I'm making my selection rectangle rather large to the right there. And that's because it gets my handle out of the way of stuff. It moves it over here quite a ways. So I get close to it, gravity move with a comma, hit M, hold down Shift, and 3, 1, 2, 3, and then hit Enter. Small cursor steps. And again, you have to make sure that your cursor steps are set correctly, that your large cursor step is at 1 and your small cursor step is at 0.175. And that's really easy to check. You hit Q, go to cursor, and right here it'll tell you, what your large step size is and what your small step size is. That's crucial for getting the right distances between your text. And then you can just save as default. So since that's our default, we're good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to call up my text block and Control V, and I know that should only be 3 lines, and just scoot over here and just right click to the top left corner of that text, select these 2, and I got those 2 red ones, and hit delete. And I think I have those guys in there. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to go back to my Google Sheets and turn those guys red. So that tells me all these guys are done. And the ones that are in black over here are in the elevation drawings, which are going to be on the site plan. So they're not included in the sheet. They don't need to be. So I'm going to go ahead and go out of Google Sheets. I don't need to be in that anymore right now. And I'm going to hit Control W to zoom out to the side, and you see we've come down quite a bit. And it looks to me like we're going to have a little bit of room to scoot our section drawing over a little bit, but we're not done yet. So I'm leaving some of these sheet notes in here because I may see something as I'm starting to place the sheet notes that I want to install somewhere, and so we don't want to mess that up. So also, let me go to hit L for layers. One thing I turned off during the last lesson was layer 3, the exterior openings layer, because hit OK, because I had a window in the middle of my section drawing, which is not the best idea. So anyway, so that concludes Dcad lesson 13F, still having to do with drawing organization in sheet notes.